Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. We are again in the final hour of the trading day. The final hour of the trading day is my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades based upon what the large financial institutions are doing at the end of the day. The day traders and algorithms they control in the daytime. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come into play. They take control away from the day traders and the algorithms, and they move it in the direction of their choosing. And so I believe that following what they do at the end of the day is a long-term edge in your trading. So thank you all for coming today. It's nice to see everyone. We're having a volatile day here. The Dow is currently down 254 points, down 0.78%. The NASDAQ is now down 119 points, down 0.9%. And the S&P is down 22 points, down 0.57%. So, yep, it's been pretty volatile, a lot of chopping around, no trending, tough to trade, but that is trading. And every once in a while, not every once in a while, on a pretty regular basis, this is what we run into. So I hope you're all staying safe out there, position sizing correctly, making good decisions, adhering to your stops. So, all right, here is the plan for today. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we are going to come back. We're going to talk about my current positions, when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. Did have a few day trades today that I will share with you as well. After that, we're going to go over to the board. We're going to take a look at my students' positions and talk about where they bought them and probably why they bought them, and we're going to see how they're doing. I do see two green on the board today, which is good, but the majority is red, but you would expect this on a day like today. After that, we are going to talk about trader psychology, always the most important component of trading, in my opinion, and that's creating a plan and managing your emotions so that you can follow that plan. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a new trade. The first requirement is I'm looking for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. Secondly, even if I have a good confluence of indicators lining up, I need to also have a good risk to reward ratio. 2 to 1 is my minimum. If I'm willing to risk $200 or $100 to the downside based upon strong support, I need to be able to move up at least 2 times that minimum to the upside before I run into some type of valid and likely resistance above me. So risk to reward is extremely important. And the number 3, please always take a few minutes before you hit your buy button. Make sure you really need to have this trade. It's a clean trade. You have a plan for the trade. You know how many shares you're going to buy. You know where your emergency stop is. You know where your end-of-day stops are. You know where your profit targets are. You know where your overhead resistance levels are. And that is what you need to have a plan. So please just don't get into a trade unless you have a full and solid plan based upon good trading principles under your belt before you hit that buy button. Also, consider correlation. You don't want to have too many stocks that are in the same category. Think about getting outside, maybe outside of equities, as like into gold, silver, the dollar, something uncorrelated to stocks. So I do have some potential end-of-day candidates that I'm going to go through as we get closer to the end of the day. I'll go through them on multiple time frames. We'll look for risk to reward ratios. We'll look for multiple confluences or combinations of indicators lining up, and I will try to narrow it down to the very best one or maybe even the best 2 setups. And if I find 1 or 2, I'll go ahead and place the trade near the end of the day. If I don't find any, I just won't take any. Nothing wrong with not taking a position at all. There are 3 positions in stocks. You can be long, you can be short, and you can be flat. They are all 3 of them valid positions. All right. Then after the market closes, if you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you have any stock symbols that you would like me to take a look at during the day, during the live stream, if you can put them in the chat, please put an emoji or an asterisk by it so I know that it's time sensitive. And I will do my best to get to those before the close of the day. And then if any of my students have any new entries or exits they would like me to update on the board, if you could please just wait till the close of the market so that trading's done, I'm done teaching, pressure's off, and we'll spend as much time as we need to get it updated, okay? All right, hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, thank you for holding through that with me. Let's see who is here today. Lova is here. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. Dan gives a peace sign. Right back at you, Dan. Hope you're having a good day. Steve Burns, thank you always for coming and visiting the live stream. It's always an honor and a privilege to have you here. And thank you, as always, for everything that you do for this channel. Steve says, the churn and rage continues. Boy, that those two words are completely appropriate to today. Churn and rage. That is true. Kamal is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Fun trading with you today. That was great. Kind of a first. And thank you for everything that you do for this channel, Kamal. Steve says small caps are getting liquidated. IWM. Let's take a look at. Oh my. Yeah, IWM, they were the ones that could not go down for a while, and big day down today for sure. Johan is here. Hello, Johan. Nice to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Morgs is here. Hello, Morgs. Good to see you from South Africa. Jonathan D is here. Hello, Jonathan. Really great having our first lesson. I think you did really well. Pleasure working with you, and hope you are having a good evening in Ireland. David is here. Hello, David. Nice to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Frank is here. Hello, Greg and Group. Hello, Frank. Good to see you, buddy, and thank you for everything that you do for this this channel as well. Johan says, what do you think about shorting Qs on a low or high and a failure to break the 50 SMA? Oh, geez. My Q chart's so... sorry. I think what I'm going to have to do, Johan, is show these day trades so I can get rid of all these. Yeah, I mean, it is a lower high. I think I would at least definitely wait for a close under 50 RSI before I would get involved with something like that. We do have a higher low underneath us. I don't know. I don't think I would, to be honest with you. I don't think I would, actually. Lova says AYV2 yesterday, double bottom, bullish divergence, 2 previous days of bouncing at the 30 RSI, rejected the 200 SMA. All right. Well, that looks like a good analysis, Johan. So let's take a look. AY. If I put in AY, I don't get a symbol. Lova, can you confirm on that symbol, please? EDU, good risk to reward ratio. Yeah, this big bar here really scares me on that Lova. This is, I mean, yeah, it's a good risk to reward ratio. It did bounce at the 200, that is correct. Yeah, I don't know. I think you could find better. honestly. I mean, it might be okay. It might, I mean, it is a good risk to reward ratio. And we do have a false breakout to the downside here and a close over the 200-day moving average. If we look at the weekly, we've been bouncing off the -1 ATR channel, rejecting that, which is good. I don't know. I see this big bar here, and it concerns me. Miko25, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Dan says, new trader was very timely today on Twitter alerting us about IWM. Oh, Steve did? Yeah, it's down a lot. Dan says, thank you, Steve, for your teachings. Yes, 100%, Steve. Thank you very much. David says, I really need to manage my emotions today. Well, you know, first step is to be aware of how you're feeling, David, right? Take a deep breath. Just feel those feelings. Understand that you're alive. Understand that you're feeling this way. And you know, but if you feel like you need to manage your emotions a little bit, you need to be extra careful as well. That would be my best advice. Gary says, hello, Greg and group. Hello to Gary. New Thought. Hi, Greg. Hello, New Thought. Thank you for coming. Nice to see you. If there's anything I can help you with, let me know. Yavar says, hello, everyone. Hello, Yavar. Nice to see you. AY is the symbol showing on my chart. Yeah, sometimes I don't have all the symbols that you do. If I type it in, let me type it in one more time. Yeah, if I type it in, it pulls up AYI. Okay, Steve says, both my positions are sneaky and currently green, Monster and Etsy. Excellent. Very, very nice, especially on a day like today, right, Steve? So very, very good. Frank has a poem for us. So you, okay, let me... All right, so you decided to buy stock on spec. Toss rules aside and say, what the heck? It's your money. Who's to object? Now grab some cards and shuffle the deck. Some like making money by sticking out their neck. Well, that is definitely true. That is an excellent poem. Let's try that one more time, shall we? So you decided to buy stock on spec. Toss rules aside and say, what the heck? It's your money. Who's to object? Now grab some cards and shuffle the deck. Some like making money by sticking out their neck. Wow. Frank, amazing. Really, just amazing. Thank you, sir. Just wonderful. Just outstanding, wonderful poem. All right. Well, you know, sometimes I say that it doesn't matter if you're long or you're short. You always have risks. Sometimes your longs can go down and your shorts can go up. Well, look at this. On a day where the NASDAQ is down 127 points, my short position on Amazon is rudely up. How is that? I shorted this at 310.10. Good risk to reward ratio. Pullback, a couple day pullback in here. I thought that was maybe about all it had, but not at all. I mean, who knows? At the end of the day, I may hold on to this. I may hold on to this because it might close under the 200-day. But right now, as it is, it's well off the high. So for me, that's good. But if it does close over the 200, I will go ahead and sell it. Cover the position, buy to cover it, and take a loss. We're back over the 200 again, back over the 200. This is a valid signal on Amazon with the close back above 200. MACD is green, and it's up today, which is probably the biggest thing. It's up today on a green, on a super red day. So there is a lot of relative strength with this today. Look, it went right to the 50, and it's exactly where it got stopped. Etsy. All right. Steve, Tracy, Carlos, Frank, Gary, and myself, we did buy Etsy back here on the 19th. We bought it at $215.80. It did hit one profit target today at $228.19. Luckily, we bought the 1050 EMA cross. It is negative now. It's still up on the trade, which I'm grateful for that. I think I probably will just hold this today. We did have a false breakout to the upside of this range, but it is hold of 50 RSI. It's above all the moving averages. It's not down that much, so I feel like I will be keeping this one today. Match, total disaster today. Total disaster. I bought this yesterday with a 520 cross. It does back test well. I bought it at 155.21, down 4.97% today. Obviously, the 5 has crossed back under the 20. I will have to go ahead, just get rid of this today and take my lumps. This is a tough day for sure. QS, Lilia and I bought the 520 crossover on QS at 58.41. This is a big mover, and this is probably one of the best examples, everyone, of why I like to use ATRs to position size, because this stock has 7, 8, 9, 10% moves every day. That's like a normal move for this today. So using your 2 ATR to factor that in accounts for that large volatility. And in this case, luckily, position size is small. I am probably going to get out of this today. I took profits up here and up here. I bought it at 58.41. It's 56.74. So I am down on the trade, mitigated by the profit targets that I hit up here. But this one is just a little too volatile for my blood. It's great when it's going up, but it looks like we're just about to lose the 5 and the 20. My gut on this one is I think there are better setups out there, and I'm going to go ahead and just lock in a loss on this. SPY. All right. Another little loss on the overnight SPY trade, but of course I'm glad I got out when I did. I buy the SPY every day at the close. I bought it at 392.59. I sold it today at 391.89, so overnight loss. Of course, I will be buying this again today at the close. TMO. Johan, Lilia, and I did buy TMO. Really nice setup. A lot of things going on here. Intraday rejection of the 200 plus a V1. False breakout to the downside, higher low break back above the 200 with MACD being positive and back in the value zone. Bought it here at 446.61. It's 451.15. It is down on the day, but it is still up on the trade. I'm using the 200-day moving average as my end of day stop. So I will be keeping this one as well. All right, let's go over to the Qs. I did have some day trades today by myself and also with Kamal. It was fun to have Kamal in with me on these trades. So, all right, where is the first trade? Oh, okay. Well, my first trade was here. We had this little V1. I waited for halfway of the washout bar. I waited for a little pullback. I bought it at 318.95. My stop was halfway, closed below halfway of the washout bar. I bought it 318.95. I sold at 318.89. So I lost 6 cents on that trade, which is no big deal. And glad that it was a small little loss. Did have some other better trades on the Qs. Right here, we had a false breakout to the downside and a V1. I bought here at 319.13. I sold half here at, sold half here at 319.59. Had another big move up. I sold half there at 319.76. And then when we came back to my break even on the last quarter, I got out. So I got in at 319.13, sold some at, gosh dang it, 319.59, and sold some at 319.76, and then break even on the last quarter. But you can see that was a good exit right before the big drawdown or move down. And then I had another trade over here, had the 520 crossover. I waited for a pullback. I did get in at 319.69. Next bar went up. I decided to wait one more bar, had a big move up here, 320.46. Then we had a close below the previous day's low, got out there, and then it came back to my break even where I got out. So I got in at 319.69, out at 320.05, out at 320.46, and then the last quarter back at break even. All right. The day trades help to mitigate some of this damage today. But listen, it happens to all of us, everyone. It happens to all of us. You have to be ready for losses. Let it slide off your back like water off a duck. I know it's easy to say, hard to do. Let's see. Frank, funny for a second, then hits home. Yeah, that's true. New thought. What do we need to take into consideration? What do we need to take into consideration RSI before opening a position? Well, you know, new thought. There's a lot of things going on with RSI. I'll just kind of give you the basics. I look at RSI at 3 different levels. I look for it at the 30 RSI. I look for it at the 50 RSI. And I pay attention to it at the 70 RSI. And under 30, over 30 is a good entry signal for a deep dip buy. Usually under 30, over 30s can go up to the 50 RSI and fail. If you can buy something over 50, then there's a pretty good chance it will run up to the 70. But about 92% of prices fail at the 70 RSI. So you know, I could spend an hour and a half on this subject alone, but just basically I pay attention at the RSI when it gets near the 30. I pay attention to the RSI when it gets near the 50 RSI, and I pay attention and make decisions if the RSI gets to 70 RSI. Timothy is here. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Mamal is here. Hi, Greg and group. Hello, Mamal. Nice to see you. Frank says, thanks, Dan. I kind of like that one. I kind of like every single one of Frank's poems. Frank says, match was like a bad date. Oh, yes, it was definitely a bad date. Steve says, in the middle of all this, QQQ is close to a 520 EMA crossover. Yeah, I saw that. That is definitely on my watch list today. Let's see. 316.63, 316.92. So it is down. It is below it now, but this was one of my watch lists here as far as thinking about, you know, potential of getting in if we close above, if we have a 520 crossover, which we might. I don't know. Let's look at the intraday bar on the Qs. Yeah, it just keeps getting worse. Look at that. My goodness. My goodness. Give me 1 second if you don't mind. I have something I have to manage in another account. Give me 1 sec. All right, done and done. For any of you looking on the intraday chart, Q's right down here at the 250-day moving average, which is kind of an interesting location. Done with that. See how we're bouncing off that 250 right there? It is under the 30 RSI, but I will still take a trade if it is under the 30 RSI if you have support of the 200 or the 250 below you. But I don't know if that's going to hold. I don't know if that's going to hold. VIX making a new high on the day. My gosh, this is unreal. We're down 158 points now on the NAS. Lilia is here. Hello, Lilia. Nice to see you. I hope you are having a good day, my friend. Please say hello to the doggies for me. So what are we at? 126. Look at this. See this V1? See the V1 and the rejection of the 250-day on the 5-minute bar, if I wasn't teaching right now, I would definitely consider taking that trade right there. Yep, for sure I would. All right, let me go back, look over at Amazon. Well, Amazon my short, I don't know. It may close under the 200. If it does, I will keep it. But right now, as is, if it closes above the 200, I'm going to have to get out, take a loss, although it's not as much loss as it was. Etsy, again, I am going to keep Etsy. It is down, but it's only down less than 0.5% today. 520 crossover or 1050 SMA crossover is still in place. MACD is green. Relative strength is pretty good, so I will be holding Etsy. Match, the bad date, definitely getting out today with the 5 crossing back under the 20. Just one of those ones where it crossed, boom, and immediately crossed under. So I'll have to just take my loss on that. QS, I am going to get out of QS today. I just feel like it's a little too volatile. Looks like it's closing. It might close under both the 5 and the 20. But I am going to just take this off. I think there's better stocks at this point for me there. SPY, well, looks like I'm going to get a decent price on my SPY overnight trade. TMO, which was up earlier, is down, but still positive on the trade, still holding the 200-day moving average. VIX, well, this will be interesting. Here is the low of the range. That low of the range will act as resistance above, and that's right about where we're at right now. See how here was the low, we came back down, we went up into it, and that's right about where it stuck. So that does not surprise me. I don't have a position in VIX. And then the Qs, I would take the Qs today if we have a crossover, especially after this big move down. If they're able to move back up, that would definitely interest me. But right now the 5 is at 316.70. The 20 is at 316.94. So we'll just see how that ends up. Timothy says, I never had good success with Match, the dates or the stock. No, well, maybe we should all stay away from Match then at this point. What was better, the stock or the dates, Tim? All right. Well, as you know, I do like to talk about trading psychology each day. There's some really good Facebook and Twitter channels out there that do an excellent job of posting good trading words of wisdom for us to read each day. They are free. They're worth their weight in gold. And this is from Peter Robbins at PR Robbins over on Twitter. This is an excellent channel. I was going through it today. I am subscribed to it. I was going through this, taking a look, and boy, Peter has some really good sayings, and I especially like this one. And look, Steve Burns and Michael Lamont from Mara Wealth both like this as well. That got my attention when I see someone like Stephen Burns and Michael Lamont looking and liking a particular saying. So let's see what Peter has to say. This is short and sweet, but it is to the point, and it says a lot in a few words. Successful traders do not beat the market, they beat themselves. Successful traders do not beat the market, they beat themselves. What does that mean? They beat themselves. They overcome their impulses. They overcome their desires to do things. They overcome the urge to buy when every single fiber in their body is telling them not to buy. They sell when every single nerve in their body is telling them to buy. Right? Trading is so dang counterintuitive, man. It's why I think it's probably one of the hardest professions in the world, because you're dealing with money, you're dealing with fear, you're dealing with greed, you're dealing with all these emotions, you're dealing with impulses. But, I think most of us know what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to cut our losses short. We're supposed to let our winners run. When every fiber in our body wants to hurry and take a profit, when every fiber in our body wants to go, no, I'll just hold on. I think it will be. Remember, be patient with your winners. Be completely impatient with your losers. And that's just managing yourself. Successful traders, they don't beat the market. They beat themselves. They overcome the tendencies, the bad tendencies that we want to have. So David, maybe this is specifically for you today. Remember, you are a successful trader. You're not trying to beat the market. You're trying to beat yourself. So have your self-control in there. Do what you're supposed to do, bud, and everyone. We're not trying to beat the market. We're trying to overcome our weaknesses as humans and trade correctly. So thank you, Peter Robbins. I appreciate that. That's an excellent post. That helped me, and I hope it helps everyone else as well. All right. Let me take a little look-see here. Give me one sec. Sorry, I'm dealing with some options that I have to handle here. So the Nasdaq's down 152 at the moment. Wow. All right, look at bonds. Bonds, another big strong day up, and it's not helping the Nasdaq. I talked about yesterday that if bonds continue up, we'll probably see the Nasdaq continue up, but I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong on that, but this should be good for the market. The higher the bond prices go, the lower the yields go, and or the lower the interest rates go, which is a good thing for business as a whole. So yeah, I was totally wrong on that. I was wrong on a lot of stuff today, I guess I don't mind saying. Oh, sorry. I showed you all my warts and all. We better take a look at everyone else's warts. Steve. All right. I think Steve has the only up trade today. Steve took Monster Energy yesterday at 88.95 with a 520 crossover. It is up 0.77% today. So really good, super great relative strength today. So congratulations, Steve, on having the only green on the board. Oh, and Etsy as well. Yep, Etsy as well. It was red a minute ago, but I just looked at it. So excellent, Steve. Good start with 520 crossover on Monster. SQ. I still have Gary in SQ with the 1050 crossover here at 241.90. It is currently 224.01. It's down 1.88% today. So Gary, if you're still in that, please let me know. Okay. I don't know if you are or not. eBay, hanging in there. Timothy and Mamal bought eBay with this very nice deep dip rejection buy at 53.30. It is currently 60.16. I mean, it's only down 0.2% today, which is super strong. And this trade is up 11.28%. So way to go there for sure. ARK, David. Higher low V1 on Mark, bought it at 122.40. Yesterday had a nice big up day, but reversal back today. It's slightly underneath. It's holding halfway of the washout bar, but it is currently down on the day and currently down on the trade. BYD getting beat up today. Paxton and Tracy bought this all the way back here at 47.38. They sold half at 55.70. Had another leg up, but now we've had kind of a significant leg down. It is down 3.48% today, but it is up. It's down on the day, but it is still up on the trade. LITE. All right, what are we doing here? Gary sold credit spreads. He sold the $80 77.50 strikes expiring April 16th for $60 a contract. Gary wants the price to stay above $80. If it does, he will keep all the money that he received for selling the premium. Down today, looks like we have a double bottom here with the bullish divergence. Here's a low, deep red. We have a nice rally into green. Second move down. It is lower than the previous low, but the depth of the MACD bar is not as deep as the first leg down. This is called the double bottom with the bullish divergence. This is a bullish setup. However, you still, for me anyway, I would still need a trigger. A trigger might be a V1 tomorrow, V2 tomorrow, close back over the 200-day moving average. BWA. Oh, Frank, Lord. Oy vey. Okay, I'm glad Frank sold half when he did. He bought it here at 47.12. Sold half up here around 49. Thankfully, because look at this. This is nasty today. We just sliced all the way through the negative, through the value zone. It's down 8% today. But again, give Frank props for selling half up here, because that doubly mitigated the loss of what happened today. Ooh, that's a tough one, Frank. NVAX, also a Frank trade. Bought all the way back here at 135. It more than doubled, everybody. You heard me correctly. It more than doubled. He sold 90%. So, just a great example of why I like to sell into strength. Sometimes you leave a little on the table, but if you sell into strength and it comes back, it sure feels a lot better. And that's exactly what happened. But only, instead of 100%, he only took the ride down for 10 and then had a nice rally. So it is down 7.58% today, but it is nicely up on the trade, which is the most important. Lastly, PKI. Kamal bought PKI at 126.60. It's current with the V2 closed back above the 200-day moving average and back into the value zone. It is down a little bit today, but Kamal is still slightly up on the trade, which is good. Match is definitely a bad date for sure. I will be ending this date shortly with Match. Yeah. Tim says, does SCHP have a 520 cross? SCHP. SCHP. Tim, is that a 520 cross? No, it is not a 520 cross on Schwab tips. No, the 5 is still below the 20. Timothy says neither. Steve says, Holly and I met on Match 7 years ago. The algorithm is pretty good. Oh, I didn't know that, Steve. I take everything back. I take everything back I said about Match. Good for you. I love Holly. She's so nice. What a great couple you are. So thank you, Match.com, for putting together Steve and Holly. Good for you, bud. Timothy says, that's great, Steve. It did work for some of my friends. I was eHarmony algo kind of guy. Gotcha. Frank says, that's better than a long-term hold, Steve. IWM down 4% now. Wow. Frank says, Frank, it is a lifetime investment. Yes, there you go. It definitely is. David says, thanks, Greg. Totally applicable. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, we all need to hear that today, right? But when you're feeling, when you actually say out loud, I'm a little frustrated today, or something's not going right, or whatever, you have to be additionally careful with yourself and your actions, right? I think it just makes sense. But yeah, keep that in mind, David, and just make good decisions. Be good to yourself, all right? New trader, Steve says, I heard eHarmony was excellent. Uh, Gary says, Greg, I'm out of SQ same day as you. Also out of Amazon puts this morning. Oh, that's right. Well, I guess we should. Now you wish you held them a little bit, but it did look pretty strong. Amazon is pretty strong, man. It's up 1.11% and it's over the 200-day on a day like today. I am tempted to switch my allegiances to the bull side and go back long Amazon. Okay, and then Square, you're out of Square. Gary, same day as me. Good. Frank says, I sold balance of BWA 47. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Oh, right up here at the open. Ah, so good, Frank. Glad to hear that, my friend. Really, really am. Okay, good. Doesn't look as bad as it was. Excellent. All right, just take care of a little biz. Sorry, I manage these different accounts, and I have some put positions, luckily, on that I'm taking some partial profits on. It's a little hard with puts, especially if they're longer term. Uh, you have to kind of work pretty hard to get filled, really hard to get filled at the ask or the bid if that's what you're trying to do. But all right, so that's good. That's taken care of. All right, well, let's take a look at some potentials today. Is the Dow Jones really down 300 points? Yes, it is. 355 points. My holy hamburgers, holy Hannah, what is happening? All right, here we go with the Qs. Q is on my watch list today. I'm looking for a 520 crossover. It's 316.62 to 316.91. The 5 is still under the 20. But who knows? We can hope, right? We can hope if it does close above, especially off the low like we've had here, I will go and get long. Johan, we were talking about a lower high with the rejection of the 50 SMA and a V1, kind of. It is a V1 technically. We did go higher, and loss of the 50 RSI. I mean, you certainly could take that trade. You could take that trade, but see the higher low here we have from this low. Shorting when you have a higher low beneath you is a little tough, but depending what you use as your stop, what is your stop going to be? Close back over 50? Okay, well, that makes more sense because then it's pretty close. You could use a close over the 50 SMA. That would also be legitimate. Or you could just use a close 5 closing over the 20 as your stop loss as well. But let me know at the end of the day if you do end up shorting the Qs. Lululemon. Lilia pointed this out to us yesterday. Lululemon does backtest well over the backtest well with the 520 crossover. And right now I think we're crossed under 311.86 to 312.19. So if it doesn't cross over, I'm going to have to take this off my list at least for today. And it did reject the 50 RSI, which is also. And who was that? Thinker? Let's see. New thought. So This is a good example here of we went under 30, over 30. Now we have rejected the 50. See, that is a bearish sign for me. Like I said, price action tends to go from the 30 to the 50. Here it is, from the 30 to the 50, from the 50 to the 70, and those are kind of the extreme levels. That 50 RSI is kind of an in-between, but being that we rejected the 50 and came back down, that's not a good sign because that's an invisible overhead resistance, that 50. If you could get above 50, then go up to the 70, then that 70 RSI is going to be some invisible resistance above you. If you're above 70 and you come back down to the 50, now the 50 acts as support. If you lose the 50 RSI, you probably come down to the 30. The 30 very often, more than not, offers support as well. Netflix, man, I guess I should have taken the higher low V1 on Netflix a few days ago. Super strong. My goodness. Do we have a 520 crossover? 524.33. Sorry, 524.22 to 524.45. So we do not have a crossover. That is a legitimate crossover on Netflix. I don't like the risk to reward at this level, but super strong here today. If Netflix came down tomorrow, even if it comes down, we still may get the crossover. Which would give a better risk to reward ratio. Let's see, I haven't looked at Facebook today. What's Facebook doing? Okay, so Facebook, very similar. Here we had a 520 crossover. This was a trade I took recently. I didn't buy that. It looked a little chasey. Nextcade came back down, but the 5 was still over the 20. And that's kind of what I'm looking for on Netflix. Even if we go down tomorrow, I'm fairly sure that the 5 will still cross the 20 based upon the trend. So I'm not going to buy this today, but definitely a possibility tomorrow. KMI, well, earlier in the day, this looked like a really good return to value V2 with the V1 with the false breakout to the downside. Here we're above the value zone. Here we come into the value zone. We have 2 days of sideways motion, which is required. Next day, we wash out day one's bar. This is day one. This is day two. Day two washes out or goes below day one's bar by a quarter ATR. Also washes out the low of the range. And earlier today, when it looked like this, it looked pretty good. Return to value, 2 days sideways motion, washes out day one, reverses back up, triggers, being that day two closes above day one's close, washes out the low of the previous low, but it doesn't look like that anymore. And now it has untriggered. So I'm not interested in that anymore. CVX, we had a V1, but look at this. KMI was much better because not only did we have a V1, we also had a false breakout from the downside over here. So we had a V1 and we washed out this low and came back up. CVX, all it did was it did trigger a V1 earlier in the day, but it did not wash out any previous lows. So KMX would definitely have been the better trade there. Amazon, well, I may switch allegiances and go long Amazon today. MACD is positive. We are back over the 200-day. Most importantly to me, though, we are green on a really red day with a good risk to reward ratio. I don't know if it's going to hold or not, but if it does hold over the 200, most likely I am going to switch, go long Amazon. If it closes below the 200, I will stay short. But we'll just have to see what happens here at the end of the day. CBOE is green, but I don't see anything there. JP Morgan, I definitely don't see anything there. W, I do not see anything there. Berkshire Hathaway could set up for a nice V2 tomorrow. Day 1, 2, day 3, if we can rally, wash out the low. So I've been kind of watching Berkshire. I like Berkshire, but we need a trigger first. I need a V1 or a V2 trigger first. Monster Energy, Steve has that. Congratulations, I think, for the only green on the board today, Steve. Pets, V1, bounce off the 200-day moving average. It's okay. It's okay. I don't think it really tested the 200 though. And then Coca-Cola up. Interesting. Well, I guess not. It's consumer defensive. So my favorite trade right here today, the only thing that I see with the risk to reward getting better and better at the moment would be if Amazon closes above the 200. If it does, then I will switch and I will go long. Good risk to reward ratio, good relative strength today. So that does mean something. All right, I am going to end my date with match. All right, match is gone. I am going to keep Etsy. QS, I'm going to get out of QS as well. TMO is fine. VIX, just having a little issue right there with that low of the previous low's range. Right. We have about 6 minutes to go. Be interesting to see if the Qs can hold the 50. The 520 cross does not look like it's going to happen here. All right, so I'm keeping Etsy. I got out of QS, locking in a loss there. Market closes in 5 minutes. Johan says, what about SSO to short? So SSO is double leverage SPY. So this moves twice as much percentage-wise than just the regular SPY. Yeah, I mean, you could. It is a lower high V2, I believe. Let's see, the close here is 98.90. It's 98.91. So technically, it is not a valid V2 to the downside. Yes, but it is a lower high. That is for sure. People bought this first dip. It failed. The people that bought there sold. The shorts got in. That's what's driving it back down. We have support of that prior low there. I don't know. I would be a little concerned about jumping in. I would be a little concerned about jumping in the short. I would like it better if there was a double top with a bearish divergence behind it. Yeah. I mean, you could just make sure, you know, if I shorted this, I would get out if I had a close above halfway of the washout bar that formed the V2. But right now, oh, right now it is below. Let's see the close, 98.90. It's 98.89, 91. So it's flirting with that close over there. Just, you know, if you do take that short, just make sure that it really does close below that day one's close. That's important. All right, so I am going to switch allegiances. I am going to go long over the 200-day with Amazon because of the support of the 200 below and the relative strength above. All right, I switched. I am now long. Let's see if it's going to hold above. Oh, man. ICE is okay. I think the trade was yesterday, though, with the V1. See, the V1 happened yesterday. It was my number 3 choice today. Amazon has a 50 SMA rejection. Yep, I am definitely aware of that. But technically, the 50-day does not really factor in with the closes under and closes back over the 200-day moving average. So we'll see. I may have to go ahead and exit this long position here. I guess I should have waited a couple more minutes. So the 31.30.78. So currently it is above. We'll see what happens. All right, looks like we're getting a little bounce here at the day. Etsy back to green. That's good. All right, that's the market, everybody. All right, what a day. All right, so I did buy SPY today at 389.50 overnight SPY trade. I bought Amazon long at 31, 34, 33. And again, I shorted here, so I definitely took a loss with the close over the 200-day moving average. That was my stop. But I am switching allegiances, going long again because of the relative strength, because of the support below. So SPY, overnight SPY trade, got filled at 389.50. Amazon, I got filled long at 3134.33. All right, well, that's a good start to it anyway. A little bounce there at the end of the day. These were my profit targets to the downside. Not applicable anymore. Hope they don't get there tomorrow. And that's it. That's it. All right. So if you have any, if my students have any new entries or exits for me today, if you could just go ahead, put them in the chat. I'll get to them in a second. We'll get them all updated. Before we get to that, I just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a course that is 15 hours, 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. I teach you all 5 of the setups that I use in all sorts of different market conditions. I teach you step by step how to position size, emergency stop, end of day stop, profit targets, overhead resistance. In other words, I teach you a complete trading plan from start to finish on all 5 of these approaches. I have turned out some really great traders, had some really great students lately. I'll tell you what, I taught last night to Carlos, and Carlos just kicked butt. We were on the higher low V1, V2 lesson, and man, he just was great. So Carlos, if you are out there, congratulations. I got done with that call and went, wow, he is good. That was really, really good. So if you are interested in taking the course, it is $1,750, but I really believe it is worth every single penny. So if you're interested, send me a email. You can, my email is in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. If you do, I'll reply and say, thanks for saying hi. Let's set up a Skype call. The reason for the Skype call, I just want to talk to you, find out more about you, your trading, what you're trying to achieve, your challenges, and what you're trying to get out of a course if you decide you want to take one. And then it's a good time for you to ask me questions about the course. And then after the call, obviously you can think about it as long as you want. And if you decide you want to schedule the call, then all you have to do is write me back and we'll get it scheduled. Secondly, I do have a online video course for the deep dip buy stock trading strategy, one of my favorite strategies. It's on udemy.com. I have the link in the description. It is 9.5 hours of video. It is 26 videos total, 15 study guides, and it's a great course. And the best part, it's like $12 or $15. Udemy changes the price around a little bit when it's on sale. And so if you take that course, I guarantee it will be the best $12 or $15 you've ever spent as far as learning a trading strategy. And again, the link is in the description of this video to Udemy. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I would certainly really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps to build the channel, keep the channel around, lets YouTube know that there's some good valuable content here so they can get out and share it some more. So if you did find anything helpful today, I really would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Okay, so now let's take a look and see if anybody did anything. Kamal, no trades. Mamal went into Amazon with me. All right. Frank says, stop out of Etsy, half at 226.58, half at 225.85, sold match. Okay, so you're out of Etsy. Frank is out of Etsy with his half position. Good thing it was a halfie. And stopped out of match as well. Match was the bad date. All right. Lilia is out of QS. Yeah, I am too. Well, it was down 10.62% today, but all in all, it wasn't that bad of a trade considering where we bought it and considering we had some profit targets. But this one's been very volatile. But again, good reason to use the 2 ATR position sides because, on that particular stock, if you just use the straight percentage wise for your stop loss, like 5%, that stock moves more than 5% on a normal basis. Do you see what I mean? So you have to factor that in. Otherwise you'll get stopped out just on noise. And that's what position sizing with the 2 ATR does for you. All right. We'll get him next time, Lilia, right? Okay. David is in Amazon. How'd you end up, David? Did you do okay? Did you keep everything in check? Keep everything together? I'm really surprised Amazon was up. I'm really surprised it was up on a day like today. All right, what's happening after hours? Apple's up a little bit. Amazon's up a little bit. Etsy's down a little bit. Q's are up a little bit. SPY's up a little bit. TMO is up $6. Well, it has a $22.69 spread, so I'm not going to put a lot behind that. Well, it's been an interesting March, hasn't it? A lot of volatility. Lots of volatility. Listen, so let me leave off with this. If we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction. This is by Martin Kornfeld. On the toughest days, we probably should be the nicest, right? Let's just do one random act of kindness daily for another human being, for an animal. It's going to make the human being feel good. It's going to make the animal feel good. It will make you feel good as well. So everyone benefits. I just love this saying, and it really would make the world a better place if we all did that. Maybe we can just start it here with our little podcast, right? You never know. Remember the wave back in the 90s? Was it in the 90s? Do they still do the wave? I don't know. David says, still in ARC. Still in ARC, everything good. As you said, this is real trading and it is frustrating sometimes. Yeah, last year was not real trading, everyone. I told that to many, many people. I said, this is not real trading. This is like, seems, what's the word? Fake? Just, artificial. There you go. It seemed like an artificial trading market where everything just went up, 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 up. And people that got into trading last year thought, hey, this is what trading is about. It is not. I do a lot of chart study with my students. We don't always do 2020 or 2021. Sometimes we do like 2016. And, I'm sure if Steve's out there who remembers, 2016 was a very choppy, go sideways, do nothing market. It was just frustrating. Trades would take off for a minute, reverse, take off a minute, reverse, and we are in a different market now. The market always changes. We have changed. This market has changed. So, be aware of that, but there's still going to be opportunities for everyone. Just be patient. Lovis said, thank you for everything, Greg. Yesterday's pep talk was helpful. Instead of day trading today, I read a Steve Burns book. Well, there you go. That is always a good, positive learning experience to read a Steve Burns book. That's great. What book was it? Lova? Yep, and David's still in ARC. Good, yeah. It held halfway. Great. Thoughts on Snowflake from Paul. Is that SNOW? Well, I don't really see anything here, Paul. I was looking for a double bottom bullish divergence, but we don't have that. It's a V1 to the downside. We're to 35.77 RSI. If it were me, I would wait. If I was looking to get into Snowflake, I would look for a rejection of the 30 RSI. Currently, we're 35.77. So if we could go under that 30 RSI, close back over, Ideally with the V1 or V2 entry, if I was looking to get long snowflake, that's where I would get long snowflake. Frank says, oh, I also have a small position in VIPS. Okay. $44.29. Well, that sounds good. $44.29. Kamal says, thank you, Greg. Have a great day, everyone. Johan says, thanks, Greg, and everyone for the sharing. Tough month. Let's hope it hones our skills and strengthens our mind. That is true. Thank you, Johan. Frank says, Buffett has a big position in snow. Oh, interesting. Well, that helps. Part of Moving Averages 101, second edition. Excellent. Hey, can I ask people out there, have you had any issues with your Android phone? I've had my apps crashing. And I read an article last night. There's like millions of people around the world that have had this. Like I can't pull up Amazon. I can't pull up my email on my phone. It has to do with an upgrade that the Android phone got that was a bad upgrade. And I read about the fix. You're just supposed to uninstall the last download and that fixes it. But on my phone, I cannot, it just says disabled. I can't do anything to it. Has anyone experienced this or had this issue? Qs are up 43 cents. That's good. SPY's up 58 cents. That's excellent. Jonathan says, cheers, guys. Cheers to you, Jonathan. Looking forward to our next lesson on Sunday. David says, great day for everyone. Everybody, I mean. Thank you, David. Appreciate that, my friend. Oh, and eBay actually went positive. Way to go. Way to go, Tim and Mama. Frank says, my Android has been acting strange as well. You know, Frank, if you Google Android crashing, you'll see a lot of good articles about it, and you'll see how to fix it. You have to go into the apps, and you have to uninstall the latest update for the, I forgot, it's the Android web something, but on mine I just can't do it. I guess I'm just waiting for an upgrade or something, but it's really strange to have your phone and no Gmail. It opens for a minute and then disappears. No Amazon, no Audible. My texting is still working, but you might want to check that out and uninstall that last download that you had for the particular, and I wish I knew it right off the top of my head. Actually, here, I saved it. Let me see if I can. Android keeps crashing. The solution helps many. You want to look for in the apps, you want to look for the Android System Web View. Frank, in the apps, you want to look for Android System Web View. And you want to uninstall the last upgrade. And supposedly that fixes everything until you get a new upgrade. So I just typed it in there, Android System Web View, but that's the one you want to uninstall. All right. All right. Well, tough day. Kind of a tough month. But that's how it goes. Onward and upward. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If If anybody has any other questions for me now, please let me know. I'm happy to answer. You bet, Frank. All right, everybody. Well, we'll see what the market brings us tomorrow. If you could remember, hit that thumbs up button before you get on with your day. I would really, really appreciate that. So thanks for coming. Have a good rest of your day. Be good, be kind, be safe. Try to do something nice for a person, nice for an animal. Do something nice for yourself as well. All right? And we will convene back here tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Dan says, thanks, Greg, and great day, everyone. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. Appreciate everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.